Good morning to you, my dear Ekalavyas, and you are welcome to this session. And today's session is delivered to you with the blessings of my parents and my teachers. In the 10th standard, first lesson, we are going to deal with laws of motion. And the objectives of this lesson is you are going to understand more about force and motion. Before that, we have to see the states of the objects. Now, on referring to the screen, if you see, there may be two objects. One is a bike and the other one is a ball. What can you say about the states of the objects? Guess me? Yes. Certainly, one object is at rest. The other object is in motion. So, regarding the states, there are two. One, the body may be in the rest and the other may be in the motion. Further, when you see about the motion, there are different types of motion. And the different types of motion, we shall discuss it elaborately. First, when you see a bike, the bike, when it moves in a straight line, then we can call it as linear motion. If any object goes in a circular path, we can call it as circular motion. Can you understand? Okay, now see the horse which can rock to and fro about a mean position. In the same way, you can see one more thing, a swing, where the swing also swings about a mean position. What is the mean position? A center position. It will go to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. Such repeated motions are called as oscillatory motion. There are still some motions like vibratory motions and more. You can study over that. Now, further we are going to discuss more about the motion of the objects. See children, a ball is there. You can say it is in rest. Is it not? Yes. But when something is done, you can say the ball changes from rest to motion. And the moving body also stops. So, the ball which was in motion comes to rest. Now my question is, how did the ball change from rest to motion or from motion to rest? And you may simply answer, the hands. No. My question is, what moves the ball or what stops the ball with the help of the hand? Or what does the hand gives the ball to move, or what does the hand gives the ball to stop? That is the question. You may have the answer. Before you deliver the answer, let us see some more examples in the day-to-day life. When a ball is there and if a player comes and kicks, the ball moves. And another player kicks, the ball moves in a different direction. What changes the direction of the ball? That is the question. Here too you might have got the answer for this. Still, we have to see one more example in our day-to-day life. For example, if a bike is there, it moves, but all of a sudden, it moves with a speed. Here, what happened? What is the thing that increases the speed? So, you might have answer for all these things in a single word. It is nothing but force. So, what can you understand about a force? A force is a thing which changes the state of a body from rest to motion or motion to rest, whatever it may be. It may change the direction, it may increase the speed, decrease the speed, whatever it may be. But whenever there is a change in the state, the action is called as force. Before we define force, let us see the force in a simple way. It's a push. We can answer it as a push. It can also be understood as a pull. So it is also a pull. Either it may be a push or a pull. Definitely it is a force. Then how can we define force? Before defining force, let us understand something more about the force. For example, if a stone is there and a boy comes and he tries to move it, what is the moving? The body from the rest is going to move to the motion. There is a change in the state. For example, you see, the stone moves from the rest to motion. Now we can say the boy applies the force. There exerts a force. But when the same stone is large enough and the same boy tries to push it, in vain, the stone does not move. Then can you say that the body does not changes its state of rest to motion, so there is no force applied? You cannot say like that. Or can you say? Please guess it and tell, yes, you are right. It is a force. But here it tries or tends to change the state of rest to a motion, but the force is insufficient. For example, even if the boy is replaced by a JCP, and JCP can give a large amount of force so that it can move the object. Okay. Now, how will you define the force? Let us define the force. What is force? Force is defined as a kind of action which changes or tends to change the state of rest or of uniform motion or even the direction. How can we represent the force? The force is represented by a symbol F. What is its unit? How can you measure? What is a unit? It is a unit which is used to measure it. How can you measure force? The unit of force is Newton. When you represent it with a single letter as a symbol, you have to represent with capital N, and when you write it as a full name, and you must use only a small letter and not the capital letter. The capital letter will indicate the scientist. Can you understand? Well, children, I hope you have understood. In advance with the force and motion, we are going to deal with a chapter called mechanics. And what is mechanics? And mechanics is a physics which deals with the effect of force on bodies. And mechanics can be divided into two subgroups known as dynamics and statics. What is statics? So, the statics is a thing, or it deals with the bodies at rest under force. You may have a doubt. When there is a force, how the body is in rest? As you have understood in the boulder, rock, force is there, but it is not large enough to move. Like that, every object which is in the rest at the ground is being acted upon the gravitational force, but they are in rest. So it deals with the bodies at rest under force, and dynamics is a subject which deals with the bodies in motion under the force. Further, dynamics can be classified into two more divisions. One it is kinematics and the other one is kinetics. Can you understand? Now we have to see a little bit detail about the two things called kinematics and kinetics. What is kinematics? It is a force, or it deals with the motion of the bodies without considering the cause of motion. But what is kinetics? It deals with the motion of the bodies considering the cause of motion. Okay, children, I hope you all might have understood what is force, what is its unit, and you have understood more about it. Let us have some evaluation regarding this chapter. What are the states of the bodies? And what do you mean by rest? What do you mean by motion? And what is the types of motions? And define force. What is the unit of force? And even what is the symbol of force can also be added. What is mechanics? What are the types of mechanics? Or how can you classify the mechanics? And how dynamics is classified into further things? You can answer. What is the factor that decides to classify the dynamics? Thank you very much, children. You find all these things and discover more types of motion with the help of your parents and with the help of your teachers at school. Thank you very much, children. Thank you one and all. Welcome, please. Thank you.